Hello, 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 and welcome to the TC Allen live show. I'm your host, TC Allen, and tonight we have a special guest, my mentor, business partner, and friend, Cherif Medawar. This gentleman has taught me so much over the years. He has taught me the business of real estate, commercial real estate to be exact, but also about business. And so I got a lot of my business acumen from this gentleman. He has been phenomenal in teaching, sharing, and helping in many different areas. And every time I call upon him, he's there for me. And I met him over 10 years ago. And ever since then, he has poured into me. And this gentleman is a mentor to many, and he has coached, counseled many millionaires, billionaires come to him for his counsel, his business, and real estate and investing strategy. He's a manager of a very large hedge fund, and he manages over $100 million worth of assets in that hedge fund. And so I want to talk to him today to pick his brain in a sense, and allow him to share some things that he has taught me and my wife years ago about real estate, about how real estate can change your life, commercial real estate. And the way he does things is phenomenal. He has a unique way of how he approach a deal when it comes to commercial real estate, a unique way of how he teaches. And so he's not only thorough in his teaching, but he's very funny. And we love talking to him and share with him, and enjoy the time we spend with him. Me and my wife went to go see him in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, a beautiful place where he owns over 50 properties on the coastline there. And it is absolutely phenomenal. And it was difficult for us to keep up with him because he just moves so fast through the streets of Old San Juan, showing us the beautiful properties and teaching us the ins and outs of real estate. Listen, I want you to get someone on the line today. Share this feed with someone. Like, tag, and share. Like us on Facebook. Like us on Instagram. And share with someone today, and let them know that a master investor, hedge fund manager, is on live tonight. Cherif Medawar. It's going to share with you some phenomenal things that I know is going to change your life. Listen, you don't want to miss this. Stay with us, and tell a friend and tag someone. Let them know that you want to be on and watch TC Allen live tonight. We'll be back after these messages with my good friend, Cherif Medawar. Stay tuned.
The formula of the best business in the world is three things. You may want to write them down because it's going to help you completely in your thinking of business. Three things. Number one, you got to be able to say, one, I'm helping others. Because if you don't add value to others and help others, it's going to show right away. Nobody's going to want to come in with you. It's just, if there is no value for others, they're not buying it. Number two, I'm having fun. What is having fun? That means I'm growing, I'm contributing. So if you're growing, that means you have profit, right? Contributing, you're helping others. And number three, and I'm making a profit. Think about it. If you're just making money, but you're not having fun. If you're making money and helping others, but not having fun, sooner or later you're going to say, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just tired. I'm just feeling like I'm giving and giving and giving. You start complaining. What if you're having fun, you're helping others, but you're not making money? You guys say, what the heck is going on with this? I'm working too hard. This is like brokers. A lot of brokers, real estate agents do that. It's just, they have fun in the beginning. They feel they're learning, growing, but then at the end of the day, they say, I'm helping so many people make money and I'm not making enough. How fair is that? What if you're having fun, having profit, but you're not helping others? They will revolt against you sooner or later. So this is the perfect formula. It couldn't be any simpler.
Kid old enough for money but too young to deal with a checking account? Oh, and you don't really want to deal with cash? You need the Cube Kid card. Reload right from your bank account, set parameters, and spend just like a normal debit card. If the card is lost, No problem. Without the app, the balance is zero. Get yours at cubemoney.io.
Are you suffering from fear and anxiety? The Allen Counseling Clinic is here to help. Our goal is to help you grow from your struggles, heal from your pain, overcome your fears, and get the relief from your anxiety. Call now, area code 424-295-6227. Telehealth is now available.
Hey family, it's yours truly, Dr. Eddie. Listen, it's official like a referee with a whistle. My new book, Relationship Rules, is everywhere, y'all. And I'm empowering you to build healthy relationships, but also purposeful partnerships. You can do that. I want to show you how to do that simply by going to Amazon. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to dreddieacademy.com/book to get a signed copy. I'm empowering you to win in the areas of love, leadership, and leveraging your purpose. It's all about the book Relationship Rules, because relationship rules.
What's the secret to making it fast? Wealth is a skill based on numbers. The numbers begin with how to borrow and how to raise capital. I get corporate guarantees, triple net. It is literally guaranteed that that tenant will pay, so I want all the cash, so when I have cash, I can do more deals. And that's how I got into even REOs. I bought homes from banks, BofA and Wells Fargo Direct, because I had a lot of cash. And when the market drops, you got a lot of cash, cash is king. Well, actually, the real king is the asset. Cash flow is king. I used to say in the Mixer Fund in 2009, I created the fund to save people from themselves. And people laughed, they thought it's a joke. Fast forward 6 years later, I can tell you with absolute certainty, I save people from themselves. Stop focusing on the problem, just focus on all the possible solutions. If you run your business based on exchanging in abundance, your business prospers. The financial life is an extension to your integrity, to your character, and if it's not, you cannot build on it. You sabotage yourself if you don't believe you're doing the right thing for yourself, for your family, for the group you're working with, and for other human beings. It is this alignment that makes you grow without any doubt that you're doing something spiritual, not just financial. It's not in the speed in which you move, it's in the certainty with which you advance.
Help me welcome my friend, mentor, Cherif Medawar. Thank you so much, Cherif, for taking the time to share with us tonight, coming on the show. I really thank you because I know how busy you are, and I've been through the streets of Old San Juan watching you work, so I know how how you go through your day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I want to just get started by telling us your background and where you come from, because it seems like you just came from nowhere and now you're taking over the real estate market by storm.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm half Egyptian, half French. So I came in as an immigrant, really, and looking for a better life, if you will. And I started working in the hotel business. I was a management trainee at the Century Plaza Hotel in Los Angeles. That's a very nice hotel. I chose a very exclusive hotel because I wanted to learn the best systems, and I was going to UCLA at night. And what happened is a billionaire in the name of Edmond Bessari noticed that I was working literally around the clock. So one day he came to me and he said, "You know what, Cherif, I noticed you're working so hard. You're literally here from 6 in the morning to 10, 11 at night. What's going on?" So I said, well, I want to become a general manager. I'm 20 years old and I'm building my way up. And he said, "You know what? You need to come and work for me." And the rest is history, because I had an opportunity to work for a billionaire in the name of Edmond Bessari. And I worked with him for 8 years.
Wow.
And I was exposed to how to put incredible deals, millions of dollars. And it was just such a big world for me. 8 years later, I asked him if I could go on my own, and of course had his blessings. And that's it. I went into hotel business and buying, selling properties, buying and remodeling properties, etc. And it just started growing. And here I am 40 years later with my own real estate fund and able to help others and continue to grow.
Well, I thank you because had you not got started, I wouldn't have done the things I've been able to do. I tell everyone because they tell me where you get your business acumen from and how you know a lot about real estate and things. So I tell them my mentor, business partner, Cherif Medawar, has taught me a great deal, and my hat goes off to you. Because you changed me and my wife's perspective when it came to real estate, and taught us so much that we were able to our first bulk of homes that we bought. We bought like 15, 20 homes from you because you were getting homes from Wells Fargo and Bank of America, things like that. And you told us we could buy it in bulk. We was just shocked. We was like, we could buy 10 houses at once.
That was crazy time.
And you taught us how to rehab them, how to do things to sell the note and things of that nature. And so getting into real estate, I know you left the Billionaire and you got involved in real estate. What was your first deal like? What was your first deal when you left him and started your own?
Okay, what a great question. So, believe it or not, when I left him, I had a lot of knowledge and practically no money. I mean, I had $1,500 in the bank account, but what I didn't have was every time a company sent me a credit card, you're pre-approved, I clicked and I said, thank you, send me the business card, the credit card. So I had like maybe over $100,000 at that time of credit card that I could actually go and get cash advance and all this. I could get easily over 50,000 in cash advance. So the first deal I did was actually a duplex, 2 units in Beach, California, which is in North County, San Diego. And the lady was in a hurry to sell because she had a job, the owner, she had a job and she wanted to move on to Europe. So I went to the bank and the bank told me they had a special program for anybody working in that zip code and if they're going to actually buy and live in. And I said, well, that's a duplex. And then I figured out I can actually live on one side and rent the other side. So the rental income from the other side helped to be added to my income because I took a job in a hotel as I was doing the real estate. So they said, okay, we're going to give you a 5% down payment. Go ahead and get a 95% loan. I didn't have the 5% down payment. It was the $300,000. I didn't have $15,000. I had $1,500.
Now wait. How did you go working for a billionaire and you didn't have $1,500?
Yes, because believe it or not, my salary was $16,800 a year.
Wow.
Remember, that was 1980, 81, 82, 83.
Yeah.
I paid for everything. I had free living. I had free food. I mean, he gave me a credit card. I would buy like a suit or something. Mm-hmm. So the package in terms of benefits was unbelievable. And what I was exposed to, I wanted to learn. You know, you got to pay your dues in life.
That's right.
And
that's right.
A lot of people want the shortcut. Well, there is no shortcut until you work hard first, and then you will figure out how to work smart. And I always believed in that. So what happened was I realized they had something called the NINA loan, no income, no asset modification loan. So I said to her, I can get the money, the down payment. Do you need to know the source? She said, no, I don't care. I just need to see 15,000 in escrow. So I went, got cash advance, put 15,000. They gave me $95,000 loan. And I took that duplex, the $300,000 duplex, 2 units, and I went to the city planning and zoning department. And what I did is I separated the units into 2 townhouses. I separated the meter for gas, electric, and the water, gas, and electric were separated, and I was able to sell each side separately and was able to walk away with $156,000 net profit in the bank. I had never seen that much money of my own, and the whole thing took me 4 months. So that was my first deal. The rest, I just did a bigger building, an apartment building, and then it grew from there.
Powerful. And every time I hear that story, it brings joy to my heart because you're not someone that came from money. You came up and with humble beginnings, and you yourself taught us how to do the same thing and start from the bottom up. But we'll get into how you do things with the fund that we're a part of in a minute. But I want to talk about the system. You taught me these two systems early when I met you, and it just blew my mind. And I not only use it in real estate, but I use it in business too as well. The FACT system and the DCBA system. Find, analyze, control, time, and structure. Let's talk about the FACT system real quickly because that system showed me how to line some things up when it came to real estate. Now, I did real estate before I met you, but when you taught me these things, these principles, it changed the game for me. Let's talk about the FACT system.
Good. All right. So the idea is as I became more successful, I started wanting to train people because I knew it's very hard to get the information and to get the real information that's going to make you money instead of a lot of stories, etc. So I would teach the class, and then I would realize people would say, okay, so what do I do first? So what do I do next? And I realized I had to have a real clear structure. And the structure came into 5 steps. And the F for the facts system is to find the deal and to find the tenants. So if you're going to find a deal, let's say you're finding a property, you're going to find a commercial property that is vacant, let's say. You want to know, is that a good deal? And so when you find it, you want to know who is the tenant that's going to occupy it. If it's an apartment building, who is the renter that's going to come in? Is this a higher end, this lower end? Is it a Section 8? So finding the deal and the tenants is number 1. Number 2, for the A, for facts system, A is analyze the numbers of the property. How much the property going to bring in income? And then analyze the market itself. How is that property sitting in this market? Is it very desirable? Is it too big? Is it too small? How does it compare to others? So analyzing the numbers is key to knowing if you're having a good deal or not. Number 3 is the C for control. You want to control the negotiation. You want to know how to negotiate the deal to solve the seller's problem. Every seller is selling for a reason. Some want to retire, some want to get a bigger building, some are moving. So you want to control the negotiation and the paperwork. You want to be able to put the paperwork to have time to do the transaction, etc. So you find the deal, you analyze the numbers, you control the transaction, so you put it under contract. Number 4, you want to time the process of the due diligence, the inspections. Make sure that you inspect the property so you don't make a mistake. And you also time the process of getting the loan, the financing. If you're raising money from partners, if you want to time that process, you don't want to run short of time, you don't want to take too long. So you're timing the process of the due diligence and the financing to close. And the S is to strategize, to manage the property for maximum returns and to take it to its highest and best use. Every property has its highest and best use. So find the property, analyze the number, control the transaction, time the process of the due diligence and financing, and strategize to manage it and take it to its highest and best use.
And with that system, along with the DCBA system, because sitting with you just for a whole day, you blow our mind with definitions, with the terms, terminology of real estate, and making sure that we understand the ins and outs of the different terms and what we're getting into, and to be able to decipher the code of real estate, for lack of a better word. So talk about that DCBA system.
So the DCBA system, one time in Los Angeles, California, I was doing a training and I invited somebody from the Department of Education to attend a couple of my sessions. And so they came to me and they told me, you know what, you actually cover a lot of information with numbers at such a rapid pace that we've never actually seen somebody put so much data in such a short period of time. And it could be overwhelming for people. So I said, well, what do you suggest? And they said, well, make sure that the audience responds to you and make sure that the audience is not just getting information, tell them to write some things down, etc. So I realized that there is a system to disseminate the information, to get the information across to people. And one of the most important pieces of information is to understand the terminology. So if I say we're going to use escrow between the buyer and the seller, if you're not in the real estate business and you're an intelligent person, you could be a doctor, an engineer, attorney, but real estate is not your field. You don't know what an escrow is. So I have to define escrow is the entity. It's between the buyers and the seller. They hold the money. They have fiduciary responsibility to actually get the deed, which is the ownership of the property. And then they give you the deed. They give the seller the money. So they transact. So then I realized that D is for the definition. I must define all the terminology first. So when I start explaining, people get it. They're not lost in words. Number two, I have is the DCBA is the C for the concept. I have to explain to people the concept. What's the idea behind this? Why would you buy a storage facility, for example? What is the concept behind storage facility? Who would use a storage facility? How would the numbers work and the idea behind it? And then number three is the business model. The business model meaning, okay, so what do I do first? It's like cooking. It's the recipe. So what do I do first? What do I do second? What do I do third? So that's the business model. The 1, 2, 3 people want to know what to do first, what to do second, what to do third. And then number 4 is the A for action to be able to succeed. So definition, concept, business model, and action. That's the DCBA. So when I teach a class, I spend a lot of time defining the words first. And believe me, that's the base on which we build the whole education, the theoretical stuff, and then the application becomes a lot easier.
I run across a lot of people, Cherif, that just do residential real estate. They flip properties, some of them even wholesale properties. And when I tell them about commercial real estate, they say, "Oh, you can't get in commercial real estate. How can you? You're not a large firm, so how can you get in commercial real estate?" And I break it down to them, and they said, that don't sound right. And but that sounds like only a commercial brokerage can do that. I said, no, you can do commercial real estate by yourself, or get with a partner and partner with us in our hedge fund. And they said, well, yes, I'll see about that. So what type of person do you say should consider commercial real estate? Even though they flip a couple of properties, wholesale a couple of properties, what type of person do you believe can do commercial real estate? What type of mindset do they have to have?
Well, so the most important thing is to understand that every business, really, the idea of starting any business has to do with assessing risk. So people get scared of real estate in general because they say, well, it's too much risk. I can buy a building, get stuck with it. I can get a loan, and maybe I can't make the payments, etc. So how do you assess the risk of these things? Well, there are ways to get into commercial real estate where you actually don't have a downside. For example, you can put a property under contract. Let's say take a vacant property. You know this very well because we've done the joint venture agreement together. So you get a vacant property, like a standalone building, like a Jack in the Box, a place that could be occupied by Starbucks or McDonald's. So it's a standalone building and it's vacant. And they want, let's say, $600,000. And you're thinking, oh my God, $600,000, that's just a lot of money. Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about buying it now. You put it under contract. You can actually tell the sellers, okay, here's earnest money deposit, $5,000. And when you put it under contract, you have the right to buy it. You have access to the building for 45 to 60 days. But what you can do is look at the national tenants, like all these food places, we call them QSR, quick service restaurants. Here I'm defining the words. And you start calling these big companies. You can call Popeyes. We're just doing a deal right now with Sonic. And what happens, we call them and tell them, are you interested in this location? Let me send you a video. Let me send you this and that. And they look at it and they say, yes, we're interested, we want to lease it. When these big companies want to lease, they're going to lease for 10 years. They're going to lease, meaning they pay you the lease net of taxes, net of insurance, net of maintenance. So they're going to actually sign a letter of intent saying, I'm interested in leasing this space for 10 years. I'm going to pay this so much rent. And we're going to pay triple net. That means we pay the property tax and insurance. And we will give you a corporate guarantee. That means they guarantee it by the entire corporation. These are publicly traded companies, so it's extremely powerful. And that property that you have under contract, when you have the letter of intent from a tenant, it just goes up in value because now there is a tenant that's going to pay rent for 10 years. It can go up to $1 million value, if not more. So now you have a contract to buy a property at $600,000. You have a letter of intent showing that there is a big tenant want to come in that's going to make it worth $1 million. Heck, you can assign that deal. You can get a hard money loan, get them in, and then go refinance with a bank because there is a corporate guarantee. It's guaranteed by that
Right.
big tenant with the big credit. And if let's say you call 100 tenants and not one of them responds to you in a positive way, guess what? You don't have any obligation to buy it. You can walk away without purchasing it. You can say thank you. You cancel your contract. You have no downside. And to prove that this works, I have done it for years, and it made me a lot of money in the shortest period of time possible with the lowest possible risk. Actually, there is no downside whatsoever. And the key thing is, I tell people, when you call a commercial broker, they're going to ask you, do you have the money? Do you have proof
Right.
of funds?
Right.
And they can work with me. I'll give you the proof of, I'll train you. I'll give you the proof of funds. I'll give you the list of the tenants. I'll tell you what to say. I'll tell you everything. And when you got it, you can assign it to me. You don't want to assign it to me? No problem. Just give me a success story. And we have 2,000 video success stories on YouTube because we've done it for years.
Years. I remember I had a hard time with the broker. I was trying to get a property under contract, and then I gave him the proof of funds, and his whole attitude changed.
Yeah, exactly. The commercial brokers, they have an attitude. I mean, let's just face it in general.
Right.
And I don't blame them. I have many students that are commercial brokers, and then they tell me, Cherif, I just got to weed out so many callers coming in. I got to weed them out. I got to know who's got the money. So I understand.
Right.
Cool.
You always talk about investing being a game. What is your favorite part of the game?
Well, life itself is a game. And if you take it like this, if you understand that it's a game, you will not stress out too much. Because if you look at life and you take it too seriously, you're like inside the problem. You're just overwhelmed by all what's happening in life because the physical universe is full of challenges and obstacles all day long. The minute you set a goal, you have an obstacle. The minute you set the goal, you already start dealing with the time that is it's going to take, the distance, all the money you need, all the credit, it's just constant challenges. So if you take it as a game, you realize that you're going to have some allies, that there are some rules, then there is a time frame to play the game, and that when you're playing a game, you're actually enjoying the pressure and the release, the challenges to score the goal, to advance in life. So when there are problems, you start understanding, okay, this is part of the game. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm just going to be okay. As long as you're playing ethically, you're following the rules, which is the law, and doing everything ethically, you're going to enjoy the game. And finding the property could be very frustrating. And then when you find the right deal and you put it under contract, that's like an excitement. It's like you just scored the goal. Now you're like getting a little bit ahead of the game. You're scoring a little bit more. Now you're calling the broker calls you back. He's like on your team now. You're getting that listing broker to be your representative.
Right.
And that's the fun part of the game. And I try to keep that mentality even if there is lawsuits. And during even a lawsuit, I tell my lawyers, don't stress out too much. It's a game, and we're going to play the game. And when you think of a game, just think for a second. You approach a game with the same level of enthusiasm, whether you win or lose. Of course, you want to win. But even when you lose, you're playing, you're enjoying, you're saying, you know what, I still had a good time. I played with my friends, a volleyball game, a football game, and you're okay with it. You can break a finger, you won't even feel it until the end of the game. It's like, oh my gosh, I really damaged my finger. Why? Because the adrenaline, the rush, the excitement. And when you reach that level, that's when you perform really well.
Well, when you talk about lawsuits, you have one of the most tightest iron asset protection clauses I've seen, hands down. I have blown
Yes.
lawyers' minds and financial institutions' minds with your asset protection. So I know about your asset
Yes, yeah, we have a
protection.
great program.
Great,
We
great
have a great
program.
program for asset protection. Yeah, we started it like 8 or 9 years ago. It's called, well, people can go to kmagb.com, which actually means
Assets.
kissmyassetsgoodbye.com. But it's actually, it has a video, animation video,
Yeah.
kmagb.com, animation video of 3 minutes. It explains how you can protect yourself because, TC, as soon as you make money, somebody's out there trying to
Yes.
take something from you,
Yes.
trying to
Yes.
find an angle to sue you. It's just insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's okay. It's part of
That's
the game.
I take a page from your book. We're not flashy. We're very quiet, and we very kind, polite, do things behind the scenes, and not
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that because you taught me that you don't have to be flashy and tell people how much money you have and be incognito and behind the scenes. And do
Yeah.
very well. And so I appreciate that. I was with you in Old San Juan, and you had on a $2 shirt and some $20 pants, and running through Old San Juan. And I said,
Yeah.
man, this man is worth a lot of money, and he controls a lot of money. And here he is, just as humble and as kind, and not worried about the finer things of wearing everything on your back, and all the Rolex watch, and driving a Mercedes, and driving a Rolls Royce and a Bentley. I said I like that mindset because
Thank you.
he's more concerned about pouring into others and helping them come
Exactly.
up in life, rather than flying all over the world in his private jet. So I appreciate that mindset because
Thank you. And,
it speaks
can I
volumes.
say something about this?
Yeah.
Thank you. I think people go through 4 stages in life.
Yeah.
First stage is like self-discovery. We're trying to discover ourselves. Who are we? Why am I here? What am I trying to do? What's best for me? What's my talent? What my God's given talent set? And you're fascinated about your potential in that stage.
Right.
Stage 2, you go into, if you really want to make it, you get into the self-discipline part. And self-discipline, sometimes you start achieving things with self-discipline, and people get into like an arrogance state, like, oh my God, look at me, I just flipped this property, or I did this, or I got this job, or I just finished college. People get into that, look at me, I got self-discipline, I did this thing, and I'm arrogant a little bit. And then they realize it's not going to get me where I want to go, so they go into the self-control.
Right.
They have more gratitude about the opportunities God gave them and what they're
Yes.
creating out there. And then that's when they get into self-mastery, and they have humility about their success. And that's when they're willing to give, not just to show off or to get back. It's just they give, like I always say, give out of faith, and God will open so many doors for you because you just want to give. And that's just takes your level of performance to another level completely.
Yeah, and that's why I have partnered with you for so many years, because of your heart.
you.
And it's not about the money for you. You play the game of money. Yes, you do. I got to say that, and you play it well. But it's not just about the money for you. It's about giving, and it's about pouring into others, and to help them come up. I appreciate that. I want to talk about negotiation, because you taught me how to negotiate. You
Yes.
are a master negotiator. I was texting your friend Grant Cardone today, and I told him you was going to be on the show, and his people got back with me and said he's busy tonight, but I was telling him I'll have you on the show. But when it comes to negotiation, I think you are far the best. Grant
Thank
Cardone says he's the best, but I think you're the best. And so when it comes to negotiation, you deal with a lot of personalities. You deal with a lot of people. And so what are some of the few negotiating strategies that you use? And what should we, when we go through the realm of commercial real estate, and even residential real estate, the
Yes.
things that we should keep in the forefront of our mind?
Well, I think that's a great question about negotiation, because negotiation is, by definition, communication with a purpose.
Yeah.
So if you and I are right now negotiating because you have a building you want to sell and I want to buy it, I will not start the conversation without having three things very clearly with me. Number one, I have to have a plan. What is the plan? What is my end goal with this thing? I want to buy the building from TC. I don't want to pay more than $1 million. I want to see if he can carry the financing. If not, I want him to give me time so I can get a loan from the bank. So there is a list of things that's the plan. And number two is the execution. So how am I going to approach him? Where are we going to meet? What should I say? How can I pace myself to match TC's personality? You're a positive man. You have high energy. So I will be high energy with you. If you're a reserved man who likes to ponder and speak slowly, I would slow myself down. So the execution is important. So between the plan and the execution, the most important thing is to create a climate. That's where most people fail. If you're a leader, you know you have a plan and you have to execute. But the most important part that people miss is how to build the climate. So when I see you, and I'm excited to see you, I'm going to show that. I'm not going to be reserved. I'm going to say, hey, TC, so great to see you. I'm building the climate for camaraderie, for a friendly approach, for transparency, for open communication. So when I have the plan and I'm going to execute, I build the climate from the minute I see that person, that person I'm going to negotiate with. I speak openly. If they are not open with me, I try to get them to kind of agree on some points. Once we find points of agreements, all of a sudden we have affinity for each other. I like the person, he likes me, I like him, I like her, because we have what's called agreement on reality. And when you have communication and agreement on reality, we have affinity, we have now understanding. And once understanding happens and they get it, that I want a win-win. I don't want a win-kill.
Right.
And I don't want to get killed.
Right.
Because some people are brutal when it comes to that stuff.
Right.
It will come across. And then, so plan, create a climate, execute. When we're done with that, I always try to tell them, think about it. I'm going to send it to you in writing, and then we follow up. This way, even if I made a mistake, I can go back and I review, and then I correct and adjust and improve. And if they did not like something, at least they can tell me right away the next day, hey, you know what? I thought about it. I don't want to wait 90 days, but I can wait 60. Well, that's much better to know it the next day before we finalize contracts and stuff and then have issues.
Right.
And this formula has helped me a great deal, that I'm able to plan, create a climate, execute, and then review to adjust and improve. And that's my formula. I work off of formulas, so under pressure, I don't have to think things in you.
I appreciate that, because creating a climate, creating a win-win has helped me often negotiate many deals. And I had a deal recently, commodity deal, and my business partner said, where did you learn your business acumen from? And I said, my man Cherif. he watched me negotiate a deal. He said, man, you are awesome negotiating a deal. He said, where did you learn that from? You got your MBA?
Thank you. It is amazing in negotiation. Yeah. One word here or there could either make the deal better or can ruin the whole thing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. A lot of people try to go in and go for the juggler. But when you create that climate, create that win-win, you really have people, on your side and your team, creating that win-win situation. And I love that. When it comes to the people that are watching this broadcast now and who will watch the rebroadcast, we have, I would say, 3 levels of investors. Those who have never done a deal before, and those who have flipped a couple of residential properties, and those who have invested in multiple units. What's the best commercial assets for people to get started in? Because I want them to know that they can also do commercial real estate. So how do you suggest they get started by just not knowing anything? They flip a couple properties, or they've done some major properties. What do you just how they get started?
Okay, so in my opinion, okay, I'm speaking. I mean, people can ignore my opinion if they think that there's something better out there. But I tell you what I've seen work for people, and what
You're the expert, so so
I think single tenant buildings in a joint venture program like mine is one of the best ways, if not the best way, to get into commercial real estate. Because I provide the training. It's a win-win for them and me. Our interests are aligned because I will tell them what property to find. We go through like the 15 criteria of what properties to look for. I give them the proof of fund, which is my real estate fund that has millions sitting. So people take them seriously. When they get the property under contract, the brokers take them seriously because there is a proof of fund. They work with my real estate fund that has been up and running for 11 years. They're able to actually prepare a package about the property. Like they talk about certain details that I tell them to prepare, take a video of the property. They send it to me. I approve it, clean it up a little bit. And now they have an email that they're going to send to the national tenants. I give them 4,500 national tenants, the contact numbers, who they like to be next to, the size of space they want, who to contact. And now they have the email so they can actually call, leave a voicemail message. Hi, my name is Susie Johnson. I got a property at 123 El Camino Real, and it's 2,000 square feet. The traffic is 35,000 square feet, cars a day. The neighboring tenants are this and that. They know exactly the spiel they have to say. They send an email because I give you all the information, and then they wait for one tenant. You don't have to have 5 tenants, 10 tenants to call. Just one tenant to call and say, I'm interested. And then they get me on a conference call with that tenant. We prepare a Zoom call. We go on the call. And then guess what? I negotiate all the details. You're going to sign for 10 years, 15 years. Okay, you want to pay $8,500 a month for rent. It's going to be increase in rent. I negotiate everything. And they are learning as they are doing.
yes.
And when we're done and we took that property that's $600,000 under contract, and now with the tenant sending a letter of intent, it's worth $1 million because it's going to be producing income for so many years. That upside increase $400,000. I pay them 10 to 25% of the upside. So they had no downside risk. They didn't use anything except $5,000 of their own money to lock in the deal that they get back when the deal is done. They get $40,000 to $100,000. And we've had success stories all over the place, and we're doing it all the time. And I wish I started it a long time ago, but I didn't know. You know, you learn as you go,
Yes.
and you learn as you grow. So that's one of the best ways, if not the best.
Well, it's the best, one of the best ways that I know of, because you eliminate a lot of challenges that investors go through when they try to get into real estate, because you give. We're allowed to use the proof of funds from the from the hedge fund, and it's backed by you. I've put things under contract from $1,000 to $5,000 with no hassle because of the proof of funds, and was able to do my due diligence to make sure that it was worth pursuing, and then moving forward. But I want to talk about. I'm going to put a live deal up on the screen when we come back from commercial break, so I can show people how you do what you do, and how easy it is to get into this space. So stay with us. We'll be right back, because I'm gonna do a live deal right before their eyes. That's actually under contract right now. So guys, listen, I am with my dear friend, my mentor, Cherif Medawar, and he is phenomenal. Listen, tell somebody to like, tag, and share TC Allen Live tonight with my dear friend. He's a hedge fund manager and CEO of one of the largest companies when it comes to commercial real estate in the world. He is phenomenal, very smart, very intelligent, and very kind and very giving person. He's going to give us some tips, tools, and strategies of how to get into commercial real estate. When we come back, we're going to do a live deal that we have on the table right now. And so you don't want to miss this because this is going to be phenomenal. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Start flipping assets. What are the best assets to flip? Needless to say, residential real estate. You focus on the market, find the values, find the opportunities to get properties below market. You got credit lines, you got some savings, use it. Get a property below value, flip it as quickly as you can, right after you rehab it, any way you can. That's gonna build your cash reserves. As soon as you flip properties, the next step, learn how to reduce taxes. There are ways to use structures and jurisdictions like what I've done with Puerto Rico to reduce your taxes tremendously. That's gonna be the biggest push in your life. It's gonna lead you into the next step, which is gonna be buy and hold. That's when you get properties at market value or slightly below, bring in a tenant, increase the value. That's gonna take you to another level completely, because now you're holding for income stream, all your work has residual value, your life takes another level.
Hey family, it's yours truly, Dr. Eddie. Listen, it's official like a referee with a whistle. My new book, Relationship Rules, is everywhere, y'all. And I'm empowering you to build healthy relationships, but also purposeful partnerships. You can do that. I want to show you how to do that simply by going to Amazon. Go to Barnes & Noble. Go to dreddieacademy.com/book to get a signed copy. I'm empowering you to win in the areas of love, leadership, and leveraging your purpose. It's all about the book Relationship Rules, because relationship rules.
Kid old enough for money but too young to deal with a checking account? Oh, and you don't really want to deal with cash? You need the Cube Kid Card. Reload right from your bank account, set parameters, and spend just like a normal debit card. If the card is lost, no problem. Without the app, the balance is zero. Get yours at cubemoney.io.
Are you suffering from fear and anxiety? The Allen Counseling Clinic is here to help. Our goal is to help you grow from your struggles, heal from your pain, overcome your fears, and get the relief from your anxiety. Call now, area code 424-295-6227. Telehealth is now available.
Buy an apartment building, I eventually sell it because it's too many headaches. But when I buy single tenant buildings, standalone buildings, and I put a tenant, I hold on to them. Why I hold on to them? Because they're easy to manage. I can come and speak to you, nobody's gonna interrupt me. You know, actually the only interruption this morning is somebody said we misplaced this morning your wire information for your wire bank. Could you resend it so they can wire the check? Is that beautiful? It's beautiful, just nice.
And we're back with my dear friend, mentor Cherif Medawar. And in our trainings and spending, I think four or 5 days with you in Old San Juan, you had us cracking up while we were learning because you were just comical but true at the same time. And I appreciate that. You made it so easy to learn and retain information so we can use it. And that was good.
Thank you.
So I want to put this deal up that is actually live. That's under contract right now. And so we have a building, 3,550 square feet building, and it's on contract. The price is $490, as you can see there. And
yes.
So when we get this type of building under contract, and here is the building here. Let me show you the building. It's a old Wendy's and Burger King, and so it is actually sitting across from a truck stop. Yeah. Truck stop, and I think a Waffle House or something like that. It's over there somewhere. And so doing a deal like this and getting out of contract, what will be the next steps? I have the price here, and so what would be the next steps that I need to do? Getting on a contract. Do I need to find the cap rate? Do I need to find how the deal works? What should I do with this information? I'm playing dumb right now because I just want to interact with the audience. And so how do I go about what's my next steps?
So you know we do a 7-hour intensive training, but I'm going to give you like the 7-minute. Okay, so the idea here is, first of all, they want $490,000. I want to know if that's a good price if that's a steal of a deal, is that an expensive deal? So first of all, I'm going to look at who are the neighboring tenants, meaning who is next door. There is a Waffle House, that's great. Like this, the other screen you showed, there is Waffle House.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Let's say there's a McDonald's across the street. You know, there is somewhere close by a Starbucks, because they're almost every so many miles now, because they realize that people come to them with a 3-mile radius. I mean, Starbucks is just crazy. It's crazy growth.
Right.
And what we want to see is, okay, so the good neighboring tenants, that's kind of a social proof or business proof. When you call tenants and you tell them, I got a building for you and it's vacant, ready for you to come in. And next door, there is a Starbucks across the street. There's a McDonald's across the street. Next door, there's a Waffle House. There is a Popeyes in the same block. Guess what? Now they're interested. They want to call you back and say, okay, you send me the email. You have a video of the inside and the outside. We're interested. Tell us the numbers. Let's negotiate some deals. So first of all, we're going to look at the neighboring tenants. Number two, we're going to ask the broker listing it, what's the traffic? One, the traffic to be at least 25,000 cars a day plus. And then number three, we want to see the condition inside.
This building is right off a major highway, and you can see it off the major highway. So that's a plus in itself.
That's
a plus
awesome.
in itself.
Yep. That's big. Yeah, that's why there is a Waffle House next door. I wonder if they're also open 24 hours or what's going on. But then I want to see, realistically, I want to start calling around, see what other properties that are vacant, how much they're going to rent for, etc. Figure out the rent. And now I'm going to say, okay, $490, maybe it's a good deal. Maybe I'm going to offer them maybe $460. And let's see if they will accept $470. And then we take it from there. So one of the best things I'll do is I will call the listing broker, because the listing broker is controlling that deal. The owners trusted that person to list it for them. And I call her or him and I say, we're a real estate fund. We're interested to buy this property. Would you represent us? And then we take it from there. Of course, they're going to say, yeah, they're going to double dip on the commission. They represent us as buyers and they're already representing the sellers. They don't have to share their commission with somebody else. And that's it. We put it under contract. We make the video. We start smiling and dialing. And all we need is one tenant say, I'm interested in this place. Now, when the tenant is going to say, I'm interested in this place, they're going to send somebody after we negotiate on the phone. People will get me on the phone to negotiate this. When we actually agree on all the points, one of the key points that the tenants will want is, hey, this place has been boarded up. We need some TI money. Let's define what TI is. It's tenant improvement. What's tenant improvement? To come in here, we're going to have to change the grease trap. We're going to have to change the extractor hood. And all this is going to cost us $70,000. So will you, as the landlord, give us $70,000 so we can sign a 10-year lease with you? And guess what I'm going to say? Yes, I'll give you the $70,000. I'll give you 2 months free rent. But now I want you to pay me rent of so much. And they don't mind. We learned from years of experience that they don't mind paying slightly more rent as long as they don't have to put too much cash up front. And I don't mind putting too much cash up front, because once they actually sign with the corporate guarantee, thank you, the value of the building is going to go. Just to give an example on this one, easily getting a tenant there, I'll tell you, that building will be worth $800,000 to $850,000 in no time. Just having a tenant sign and Sam pays into a 6% cap, it's going to be about $800,000 to $850,000. So doing that deal, somebody just doing the deal, assigning it to me, they're going to make $30,000 to $35,000. And if we get the tenant to sign 15 years, which is, I usually move for the kill, I want the 15 years, that will make on the $350,000, 25% on the upside, they'll make $87,500 with no downside. Because if they put it on
with no downside.
Yeah, and they start smiling and dialing, calling tenants, and nobody calls them back, guess what? They lost
no
time.
risk.
Yes, they wasted some time, but they practiced. And the only way to make it in life is to understand, where do I spend my time and effort? In the beginning, you always spend time and effort. Once you crack the code, once you do the first deal, the second deal, you already have the money and you have the experience and you're still working with me. You want to assign to me? Great. You know what it is after they do the first deal, they do the second on their own, third on their own, etc.
Right. Right. But
Biggest problem is, I'm sorry, biggest problem is for people to start and they go into like apartment buildings. Oh, I found this 30-unit apartment building. I'm like, okay, do you have the time to do this?
I'm sorry. I got to tell him myself because I got with he was a partner of mine in the past when I was down here in Atlanta, and he wanted to get into apartment buildings. Now I called you, and I had you on the speakerphone. We're in a meeting, and I said, Cherif, you want to come in on these apartment buildings? He said, Toy, you know I don't do apartment buildings, and you know I don't.
Too much work. Now, maybe get a very, very big one, and then you can put
Right.
staff in it and stuff. But it's just too many moving parts. These tenants, we sign them up once, and TC, we don't have to look at that building for 10, 15 years. They're already paying it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
No marketing, no accounting. It's simple.
I appreciate you because from the times I call you with some major deals that I am looking into, and you say, Toy, TC, no, we don't, and you have saved me a lot of times from getting involved in some stuff that I thought was going to be good, but it wasn't.
Okay, well, I'm glad I was able to help there.
But when it comes to that analyzing a deal, what should we? And I know this because I use this all the time. Should investors use a checklist?
Yes, my whole training is literally checklist.
Right.
So it starts with how to identify the right property. What should it have? And there are 15 criteria. I'll give you a couple of them. I already mentioned them. It has to be a vacant single tenant. It's got to have good traffic. It's got to have good neighboring tenants. And there is 12 other criteria we look for. And then number 2, okay, how do I know if the price is good or not good? How do I know what the rent will be in that neighborhood? And then number 3, what should I tell the broker? So it will be the shortest conversation that goes straight to the point. And I already mentioned a couple things, such as use the listing broker to be your broker to represent you. Don't bring another broker because they're not going to be so flexible on the price because they're going to have to share commissions.
Right.
And then number 4, how do I prepare a package? Now that I got it under contract, how do I prepare a package so when I call a tenant and they say, okay, send me the info, or when I leave them a voicemail message and I want to send them the email, the information will be so clear that tenant representative that works for Sonic or for Arby's, we're doing a deal with Arby's right now, they can actually open the email, look at it, and the subject line will be, let's say, downtown Atlanta, and they can look and they say, oh, there is this thing, this is better than the one in Buckhead. We want to do that deal in downtown Atlanta. What is it that we send them? So I explain. I even remember we show a sample of videos, how to take a video of a property.
Right.
There are certain things you want to show. There is certain length to the video. It just becomes science and art, really. But it's more art, really, because everybody has a certain style. And some people say, I'm too shy in front of the camera. You know what? You don't have to show your face. Just show the property. Just show the property.
Just show the property.
And then when they email you, how quickly do you respond? When they get serious and say, we want to negotiate this, how do you get me? When do you get me in the game? Because it's not like you're going to send me a picture of a property and say, how is it? Like, this property looks good. But how do we know it's good?
Right.
When we put it under contract and we start smiling and dialing. And once a tenant says, okay, I want to discuss a few points, that's the one they forwarded to me. That's when I get on a conference call and I'm the one doing all the negotiating. There is no pressure on their side. They do the fun part, which is buying, using my proof of fund.
Using your money.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a good way. Believe it or not, I've had students take the training for the joint venture, which is finding the single tenant and assigning them to me, etc. And they go out there, and I had a lady, she's from New York, she's a Vietnamese lady. She finished the training and she went and bought a mobile home park. And she sent me a success story. Wow. Cherif, I can't thank you enough. I said, oh my gosh, what are you doing buying a mobile home park? She said, the same principles of the training apply. We found the property, we understood the upside, we understood what to tell everybody, and we put it together. It was my dream. I wanted to buy this property. I didn't know how to negotiate. The guy was very difficult. I'm happy for her. She got what she wanted. And I always say one good deal will change your life.
Change your life.
One
Change your
good
life.
Yes.
Change your life. Now, where should we look? Should we look across the country? Because some people say, well, it's the West Coast. No, some people say it's the East Coast. No, it's the South. Where
Yeah.
should you look for deals to start the FACT system?
Okay, so you start in your own backyard first. There was a book called Acres of Diamond, which is based on a true story. This guy sold his home and went to look for diamond all over the US on the West Coast or something. When he came back 3 years later, he found out the guy he sold to discovered there are diamonds in the backyard. So don't forget your own backyard first. So I say always start with a 3 mile radius. You can't find a single tenant building or what you're looking for, go 5 mile, keep expanding, even if you have to go out of state. But it's so much better to focus on an area, focus on a specific type, and understand the values. So you want to do fourplexes, you want to do storage facilities, by all means, you can do it. We actually have a training, it's called Commercial Real Estate Roundtable. Commercial Real Estate Roundtable. I'm sure you're going to put my website later, cherifmedawar.com. They can see we did a comprehensive training for 12 different type of commercial properties using my system, how to find them, how to analyze them, how to control them, how to time the process of due diligence, what to look for, and how to get the right financing, who are the banks that will give you financing, and how to strategize to take them to the highest and best use. We have comprehensive training. But the key thing is always start with your own backyard, because if you focus on a specific area, you will understand the values and you will know how much they will rent for, how much they will sell for. It will take maybe a month of your life, 2 months maybe if you're slow. But guess what? When you find a good deal, you will know it's a good deal. You will go from being scared to move forward to being excited and trembling. You want to make the deal happen. And that's when the game begins. You go from being too serious and getting frustrated to, oh my gosh, this is really getting fun. Then you don't say, I work hard anymore. You say, I'm working smart and I'm working joyfully, which the end goal is not to say I'm working so hard. I am working with joy and I'm achieving what I want for my community, for myself, for my family, and for everybody around.
That's good. That's good. I want you to take a look at this a video, and we'll talk about it when we come back.
Okay.
Here I am in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico on Cristo Street, where I have most of the buildings, I own them. And you can see, for example, this building, the Coach building. I have this great tenant, Coach Company. They've been in business for eons. They will continue being in business, great product. And what do? I provide the building for a great lease, and they're here for years. Anybody can do this. You just get the right property and you attract the right tenant. I teach you, I show you exactly how to find the right properties, how to actually find the tenants and how to communicate with them. I'm not on some mountain meditating and hoping and praying to make money. I'm out here supervising, managing through the right people and praying to make money. So there is a way to apply and anybody can do this. I want to show you another building on this side that I have. All right. Beautiful building I have right here where I have Tommy Hilfiger as a tenant. What a great retailer. This building, for instance, when I took it, I didn't do the remodeling. The tenant that came in signed a fantastic lease. They did all this work. They put the best merchandise. Without this tenant, that building is worth probably half its value today. So getting an empty building and putting a tenant in, following my system precisely, anybody can do this and increase immediately their net worth, doubling, tripling, making millions instantly by following simple steps, and the tenant takes them as they are, improve them, and put their best merchandise, giving me triple net, increased yearly lease with a corporate guarantee.
Powerful. And
Thank you.
Me and my wife been in that store, and she shopped in that store, and it cost me a lot of money. But
yeah, we're doing the training across the street. Remember?
Right.
Yes.
And so I walked through the streets of Old San Juan with you, and was amazed. During that time, it was a couple of properties, but now it's over, I think, about 50 properties, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But you have turned a shoreline shopping strip into a phenomenon for the hedge fund. And so you bought property after property and put the national retail tenants in those properties.
Yes.
That's amazing within itself. But how did you navigate the storm of the pandemic? Because it's right off the coastline to where the ship's dock, the cruise ship dock. And so, as you know, the cruise ship put a halt on everything, and there's not much traffic coming through that area. And so, how did you navigate through the storm of having all your tenants in those buildings and not much traffic coming through there?
Yes, a great point. So one of my philosophies and beliefs in business is to have, like you follow a formula, and the formula is first you look for safety. Is this building a good way to put the money? Is my money going to be safe? My investors' money going to be safe in that building? And that means, is it the right location? Is it the right structure? Will I attract the right tenants, etc.? So safety first. And that location there is close to the cruise ships. It's a historic zone. So everybody visiting Puerto Rico or San Juan, which is part of the US, as you know, they want to go to Old San Juan because it's the oldest historic zone under US flag. The second oldest, by the way, is San Augustine, Florida. And the difference is about 40 years difference, just to give you an idea about how old San Juan is. It was discovered in the second voyage, 1493 of Columbus. So safety. Number two, we look for cash flow. Will these buildings make cash flow? Yes, they do the cash flow. I get corporate guarantees. Not all my tenants are national tenants. In that district, I have some that are smaller tenants, smaller jewelers, etc. So we look for safety, cash flow. We look for liquidity, like can I borrow against them? Can I sell them if I want to get out? Can I refinance them? And number four, we look for cash reserves. Can I keep a percentage of the income as reserves? So what happened when the pandemic hit? For the first time in the history of cruise business, are you listening to me?
Yes.
The first time in the history of cruise business, they said no more cruises.
Right.
So thank God I had cash reserves, because the tenants were calling me. Some were crying. The small tenants were crying. The big tenants were telling me, okay, can you give us a month to just understand the size of the magnitude of the problem? We know we have corporate guarantees. You can go after us. You can go after our credit lines at the bank, but give us just 30 days to think. Well, thank God I had the cash reserves. So we're able to sustain, actually, we could have sustained maybe a year. But within about 45 days, the national tenants started paying again. And the smaller tenants, I worked some deals with them. And I told the smaller tenants, I will give you 50% discount and you will make it up to me later. And only 2 tenants out of 102 tenants that I had that are commercial.
Wow.
Only 2 tenants told me, yes, I know, it's unbelievable. Only 2 tenants said, you know what? One of them, she said, my husband is very sick, but it wasn't COVID-19, thank God. But he was very sick. She said, look, this may be a sign from God. I got to wrap it up. Are you going to ruin my credit because I still got 4 years left on my lease? And I said, lady, with my blessings, don't have to worry. I'll even give you the deposit back. Just go. And it was good karma. You never want bad karma in business.
That's right.
One tenant said, I can't pay you anything right now, but I'll make it up to you later. Well, 6 months later, the area started booming because then you got tourism coming out like crazy with these checks coming from the government and stuff. So people started coming and shopping. I actually have numbers that one of these days I'll show you that, like Guess, I have Guess jeans. They're doing better now than they did when the cruises were there. That's how busy the tourism is on fire. Okay, they're taking the jumbo jet, the Boeing jumbo jets to go. The busiest route in the world is Orlando to San Juan, because all a lot of the flights connect from. So thank God, because it's the right area, it attracted business. But one tenant in particular said, I'll pay you later. And I was very patient with her and her family. And then 8 months later, I said, okay, well, we need to talk. She said, well, wait a minute. I thought you're going to waive the rent. You're being unfair. You're a rich guy and you should not be asking me for rent. And she just had an attitude about it. And so I avoided the confrontation. I was very respectful with her. And I said, okay, let's talk later. And then ironically for her, 90 days later was a renew for a lease. And she had been there 5 years. And I said, I'm not going to renew and you can leave. And And she said, give me 30 days. I gave her the 30 days. Believe it or not, it took her 45 days to leave, which upset another tenant coming in. So sometimes you do good and more good come back. Sometimes you do good and you get penalized for it. And I am debating whether I should sue her for the money she owes or I should talk to her son, who is a much more reasonable man. Of course, we will always try to find a good solution.
Right.
But, you know, and I know she was doing well. I know because her staff talks too much. You know, the lady said, my boy, she said,
so she was making money, but didn't want to pay the rent.
Exactly. And you know, I don't blame the tenants. If the tenants can negotiate a deal, they'll try to negotiate it. And a couple jewelers, you know, we cut them 50% down, and now they're making it back up. One jeweler is actually renewing the lease at a lot higher, and I couldn't believe he did not resist at all. He didn't say anything. And you know, if you have connection with people, you can have the correction. You cannot correct somebody unless you connect with them. Even with your children. You know, you're a family man, Toy, and I'm a family man. I got my daughter, my son. I connect with them, and then I correct them. I correct them like, hey, what if you do it this way? Don't you think it's going to be better? And sometimes with the tenants the same way. With her, there was no talking, but her son is much more reasonable. We were able to survive.
But to hear your strategy is amazing because you know, not many people would do what you did in the first place. But to have the knowledge and the resources and the money reserved is actually proof positive that you're an awesome leader when it comes to a hedge fund manager, to make sure that you're fiscally responsible with the funds that you are in control of, to make sure that you can weather any storm. And then the bounce back is incredible. And so while many other hedge funds were bleeding and couldn't pay their investors, you still was able to do so.
We never missed a payment.
Never missed a payment. And I appreciate things like that. And I tell people all the time, if you want to be with someone integral when it comes to hedge fund management, Cherif Medawar is the man. And so never have I heard a complaint about anything that went on in the business, the fund, or anything. And that's nothing but integrity, because you put good things out, good things come back to you. You told me that years ago. I was going through a hard time, and you said, Toy, you're a good man, and good things will come back to you.
I remember that. And you are a good man. Yes.
You're not a preacher, but you was preaching that day.
All right, that's good.
Listen, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I want you to talk about the JV program that you have. You have a JV program and also a Deal Pro program that you have going on, which is phenomenal. Not only the JV program to JV partnership with the fund, but you also come on every Saturday, spend time with the students every other Saturday, for the Deal Pro.
It's every second Saturday of the month. We do a mastermind call.
Okay.
Yeah, we call it the deal, the commercial Deal Pro. And I think for your listeners, we gave them this access to this 10 steps to create an irresistible commercial real estate offer. Everybody can access this. And then you will click on and watch it. Here's a little video. I do a lot of videos, so they can click on it and they can watch what we do on these calls. And it's just very entertaining and very informative. I go right into it. When I start teaching, every second Saturday of the month, we do an hour and a half. One time we did 2 hours. I mean, we let it flow. And then everybody gets a video of the call because it's on Zoom. Everybody participates. They can ask questions on any type of commercial property, whatever deal they're doing. We discussed it the other day. Somebody had like a garage, parking garage deal. Somebody had a storage facility. And I can answer the question. We talk about creative financing. I tell them about my latest deals, what I'm doing, and they get to see exactly what's happening in the market. I explain exactly what the big banks are telling me, what's happening with raising capitals, what's the best way to structure deals if you're doing partnerships, what to know who would be a good partner, who would not be a good partner. So these calls, I pour so much into them. I give my 40 years experience in throughout the US in telling them how to make money, how to have asset protection, and how to reduce taxes. This is some of my best work on these. Great. Yeah, this is the mastermind calls that we do. It's like really like a mentorship, because you're able to ask me the questions directly and on the calls, and I answer them. Some people send questions before. And you will also get, when you click on this, that you'll be able to download how to make offers. I talk about steps I took in each time I make an offer. What are the steps? What is the thing that I tell the seller to build rapport? The broker is present. What do I say when I'm touring the property so I can get them to close the deal? Let me tell you, buying so many buildings in literally 3 streets where all the cruise traffic comes is not so easy, because everybody knows this is the guy that's buying. This is the guy, he's buying in his real estate fund and all this. So how do you do it to build rapport, to get people to be flexible with you and to make the deals happen, is what I share with you on this. I'm giving it to you free for everybody here that's your client.
And tell us about the program.
So the program, people actually enroll, and it's for a full year, and they actually get a training. We have it all on video, the full training, how to find a property, how to analyze the numbers, how to actually work with me to prepare the package for the tenants, how to actually use the proof of fund that we give you, how to time the process of calling the tenants and getting them interested. And when a tenant is interested, you communicate with, connect them with me, and what I'm going to discuss with them as on the letter of intent. And then how I strategize, and we finalize the deal, so you can assign it in the escrow and get paid right there in the title company that switches, become ownership to my fund. And how you can do a second deal on your own if you want. And if you want to grow from there and start your own fund, that's just the way it goes. So that, and then if people want to not just watch the videos, but want to come and attend live, they come to my office in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, where I do the training in my office. These trainings are usually held for 6-7 people only. I mean, less than 10 people always. And if they prefer to be on a Zoom call when I'm doing the training, they could be on the Zoom call and ask questions right there live when I'm actually training those who are present in the room. And they have a whole year to make it happen. And we can grow from there. I mean, second year, this is a small amount to renew. And when they renew, they can also continue with us and continue growing with us. So they could go to cherifmedawar.com, right? Isn't it on the cherifmedawar.com, or what's the website?
Yes,
I don't know what.
cherifmedawar.com, and
Okay,
go
so they see
to,
it under my
and you can click on the courses and scroll down to JV Partner Program, and you can enroll right there.
Yes, I mean, we have had incredible success with this, and I've had some people that took the training because they don't want to assign the deals to me. They just want to take the training. They want me to help them put the deal for themselves. I have no problem with that. All I ask people is just give us a success story when you're succeeding. Tell us the truth. We love the feedback. It helps me improve. It helps me grow. And when they tell me how great it has been for them, it's like, it nourishes my soul, really. I feel like this is great. People say, well, why are you doing it? Why would you teach anybody? Well, here's what happens. 2 things happen. Either I have somebody who says, I don't have the time to do it, but I have the money, so let me invest in your fund. Some people do that. And now I know what you're doing, and you're paying 6 and 8%. It's steady income. I love it. And some other people say, well, I was looking for somewhere to start where my downside is nothing, my upside is huge, and somebody else is taking the risk, doing the negotiation, and is going to give me all the training because our interests are aligned. So it's such a perfect thing that we both win. I'm not selling you books and tapes. I have no interest in making money that way. I make money doing the deals with you. So I can be in Atlanta, even though I love Atlanta. I actually love that area there.
I'm in Atlanta for you, but I want you to come to Atlanta as soon as we can. But
Thank you. And I can be in Miami, and I can be in New York. But you know what? We have the students that are active, and we limit by area, but we have done, thank God, very well with the program.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So guys, make sure you go to cherifmedawar.com and click on courses and go down to JV program and enroll in the program. And also you can click on the mentorship tab and join the mentorship program, which is called the Deal Pro program, which Cherif is able to speak with you on the second Saturday of the month. And trust me, that's going to be phenomenal. Now listen, you want to get in tonight. When you see this program, you want to get in because space, I know, is limited. And because he don't take on everyone, he's doing me a favor and blessing us with some knowledge tonight, and also an opportunity to link up with them, partner with him in your area. And so our hedge fund is looking for buildings that we can purchase and put the national retails in, and you can be a part of that. And so sign up today. You will go to the website, and then you will have a consultation. Someone will call you and see if you're a good fit for the program. But we want you to sign up today. And trust me, you're going to be glad that you did. I've been knowing him for over 10 years, and me and my wife has learned so much, and he has changed our life phenomenally. He taught us how to own nothing but control everything, and it's been beautiful. even after losing everything, Cherif, you taught me that once we have that knowledge and that understanding, there's nothing that we can't get back, and there's nothing that we can't do. And I appreciate all that you have taught us, sir. All that you have taught us.
Awesome. You're a good man. Thank you again for saying that. Thank you.
Last but not least, I love to end with my guests giving our viewers an encouraging word, and just let them know that they can do it, and give them something that you know will help them to not only make a decision to join with you, but also take that step and make sure that they're moving forward, because we've been through some horrible times this past year, and people are starting to come back around, and they're starting to look at things differently. They're starting to take more risk, because they know that their 9-to-5 is not something that they can depend on, and so they need to start a business. They need to do something extra, invest, things like that. So I want you to encourage them and to let them know that there is opportunity for them, and that they can move forward in commercial real estate.
Oh, absolutely. You know, unlike other so-called gurus that tell you, oh, come into my program, etc., and then when you go, there is somebody else training you. I'm the one training you. I have invested a lot of my own time in this. And why? Because it actually brings a lot of results. So I want to make sure that people will get to meet me personally. I get to see them. I get to know them. And this is the best way for us to get results. And we have actually a special price for your clients. So I don't want to quote prices here or all this. When you actually will enroll on the website, Ashley, my VP, will be in communication with you, or Zach, one of our team members that have been with us for a long time. And they will guide you through it. They'll make sure you're a good fit for the program. It may not be for you, but even if it's not, you will find that we have other programs that can help you. The goal is to grow together and to make things and great things happen. So thank you so much for having me, Toy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And I thank you for your time. And we got to do this again, because I know there are other things that you're involved in. We're not going to get into that right now tonight. But real estate is not the only one. But,
all right, great.
But I know you are a powerhouse when it comes to investing, period. And I thank you for your time. And we hope to get to either San Juan soon, or I know I got to see the hotel that you own in. Where's that place? Cancun.
Yes.
I got to take my wife on vacation to Cancun, to your hotel.
I'm just part owner of it. I don't own it solely, but it's a bunch of owners together. But it's been great and a blessing here. Thank you.
The fact that you are a part owner is good enough for me, sir. Oh, well, thank you, Cherif, for your time. I will talk to you soon. And God bless. Thank you.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Listen, guys, this has been my mentor, my good friend, Cherif Medawar, and phenomenal phenomenal testimony about how he got started in the real estate and humble beginnings, how he was going to be the best hotel manager in the world. And then he started working for a billionaire who taught him how to do deals all over the country. And he went on himself and started doing deals. And so from there, he has been pouring and teaching others for many years, and started his own hedge fund, which we are a part of and glad to be a part of. And he's a man of integrity. And so there's not many people I can say that are men of integrity when it comes to being in control of over $100 million worth of assets. And not only that, he has many other businesses that he is a CEO of and in control of. And I can say that he is phenomenal when it comes to business and when it comes to being a person of integrity and helping you to learn how to do the same thing that he does. He's not selfish with information. He pours and he gives and he updates. And as I talk to my friends who are football players, basketball players, soccer players, and baseball players, and I show them different ways of how to invest their money in real estate and do business, I blow their minds, and then I introduce them to Cherif, and their minds are totally blown because their lawyers and their agents and the people around them have not taught them the things I share with them within a moment's time. So listen, he is phenomenal. You want to link up with him and go to his website. Go to CherifMedawar.com and make sure that you connect with him. Don't wait because listen, this is the time. The time is now to link up with him. I want you to go to his website and go to courses and go down to JV program and sign up for the JV program. And there is special pricing. Let them know when they call you or email you the information. Let them know that you saw him on TC Allen Live. And they will give you a special price. Listen, don't wait. I know a lot of you want to get into business, get into something that will bring an extra income into your household. Listen, not only do you have an opportunity to be a part of the JP program, but you can have an opportunity to invest with him. Talk to them about investing. Talk to them about strategies of what to do, not only in the area of commercial real estate, but they can share with you other things that you're doing now and how to navigate through that. Trust me, I call, text, email, and get Cherif on the phone many times to help me navigate through some things when it comes to business. Listen, this has been a phenomenal time with my dear friend, business partner, Cherif Medawar. And I thank him for his time to spend with us. He's very busy, but he spent this time for you. And I want you to make sure you link up with him today. Go to his Facebook, Instagram page at Cherif Medawar and like, tag, and share his page. And go to YouTube. You can go to Cherif Medawar on YouTube and watch. He has thousands of videos on YouTube, and figure out just play it and let it run. Trust me, you're going to enjoy it because not only is he informational, but he's funny too as well. And make sure you go to CherifMedawar.com and link up with him and join tonight the JV program. And trust me, you'll be glad that you did. This is TC Allen. Until next week. Next week, we have a phenomenal show for you. I have my dear friends Ron and Sean Franklin, who will be with us on next week, talking about marriage tune-up. Some of you has been going through in your marriage because of hard times, because of the pandemic, because of loss of job, loss of loved ones, loss of things and things that have been going on. But it's time for a marriage tune-up. They'll be with us next Thursday at 8 p.m. So you want to be here. Bring your spouse, bring someone around, not only who has been struggling with their marriage, but who needs a tune-up. And so make sure you're in the place next Thursday at 8 p.m. Be there. Don't, or I was about to say be there or be square. Love you guys. Until next week, be blessed. I'll see you soon.
I understand that a lot of people want to keep the formulas or the information for themselves. But thank God, I've always felt that the more I give, the more the universe grows. My universe, that is. There is a principle in life, the more you give, the more you get. But I don't give to get, I give out of faith. The more I share it with people, the more they share it back. And there has been some great things that happened. And as I live my life, I think I'm going to share this with people. I'm going to explain how I could have prevented this from happening. I could have done this better. I could have done this differently. And as I share that, it solidifies it in my mind. It becomes me. So as I train people, I become a better investor. So part of actually training and helping others is, believe it or not, a selfish reason. It helps me grow as well.